Good morning. It's currently 6:26. I got up at 4:30 to be able to film this. Insane, the scenery, literally in like a Lord of the Rings movie, Harry Potter movie. So today I'm going to be talking about thinking, how thinking is optional. And yeah, this is a pretty insane realization that I came to quite recently. Yeah, you don't actually have to think to take action. This is the kind of realization that I came to because you can actually use your emotions to take action, which I'll explain in a bit later. Yeah, never once was it actually necessary to use your thoughts, right? And to think just to take action. Yeah, like you can fully just use your emotions completely. Of course you can think, which is actually important. But just remember that if you think and if you're always tuning into your thoughts, then it can be quite a distraction. With emotions, you can make decisions so much quicker. And of course, sometimes it's like you feel a certain emotion, but it's like it's not a very good emotion, like shame, guilt. A certain thought comes to you about making a decision, but you know it's not a good decision because you know that the emotions that you're feeling are not good. In this situation, especially if you feel overwhelmed by your emotions or by your thoughts, I'd recommend journaling. Really simple, just writing down how you feel. I remember times when I felt so overwhelmed. I really felt overwhelmed by my emotions. I just pulled out like my little notebook, which I had on me at the time, and I started writing about it. I started writing about how I felt. I just wrote it as it was. I wasn't afraid to, just write it, be vulnerable with myself. And it really helped. By the end of that writing session, I felt like I'd come to a conclusion. I'd felt like I had dealt with my emotions in a good way. And another thing, every emotion that you feel is valid. All emotions that you feel are valid. There is no emotion that's like, it's like a bad emotion. It's not a bad emotion. If you feel shame or guilt, like I mentioned earlier, it's not actually a bad thing. Because you deserve to feel every emotion. Like you deserve to feel anger. Even these like so-called negative emotions. You shouldn't suppress these emotions because you have them for a reason. Right? You're supposed to be learning a lesson from them. That's why you have these negative emotions. Because something has happened that's triggered them. You need to figure out why you're feeling them. Okay? All emotions are valid. Use them. They're great. Ooh, it's getting nice and bright. Another thing is that alongside these negative emotions, you also deserve to feel like more positive emotions. So abundance, happiness, prosperity, like these things. And if you feel like guilty for feeling these things, then yeah, you need to see it as natural for your identity. You need to realize that these emotions are actually natural and there's nothing actually bad with them. Nothing bad about them. So some other things about your thoughts. Your thoughts are like an outward expression of your emotions. Oh, look at this. We got a swan. Yeah, your thoughts are an outward expression of your emotions. So what I mean by that is that so you have your emotions, but then as a result of that, there are certain thoughts that come into your energetic field. You attract certain thoughts due to the emotions that you feel, but you don't have to engage in those thoughts. You can actually you can just ignore those thoughts actually. So in one sense, like thinking can be very distracting, and yeah, there are many I guess like self-help gurus. Yeah, enlightenment is like just being empty. So yeah, just like being able to empty your mind, fully accepting your emotions, fully accepting who you are. So your thoughts an outward expression of your emotions, which then it leads to like your words, your actions. You need to be like mindful of what thoughts you let in, thoughts you choose to think, what thoughts that you choose to engage with, because not every thought is going to benefit you, and it could be a distraction from feeling your emotions. So yeah, learn to be confident with your emotions, learn to just feel your emotions fully and to not suppress your emotions. Yeah, it's important that you don't suppress your emotions. That is a big problem, and that will stunt your spiritual growth. Another thing is that thoughts cannot fully convey emotions because emotions are so broad. Emotions are like, they're like big, they're like thick, or like yeah, emotions are so like rich. Thoughts are like very small in comparison to emotions. So yeah, you need to realize that thoughts can also distract you from the emotion and what it actually is trying to tell you. You have to embrace all your emotions. Yeah, it's hard, but it's so worth it in the long run. The way that I came upon this realization of the fact that thinking is optional is that I watched this video from a guy called Sho Namoto, and it was this like confidence hypnotism video. So I listened to that and I was like, wow, this is actually really good. This is actually a really good video for like helping you to feel more confident. And I decided to make my own. So I literally like recorded my own the next day, and then I just spontaneously listened back to it. And then basically after listening back to my own, I legit like felt so like at peace. I was so present, like my mind was so clear, I hardly had any thoughts. And then in this space where I was like very clear, very focused, I was able to realize that thinking is optional. Yeah, thinking is actually optional, and you don't actually have to think. No, you don't actually have to think. This is, what I realized. I was literally writing in my journal about this, and oftentimes when you're writing or when you're reading, it's like you're reading in your head. You don't actually have to read in your head, because your brain can actually process things like so much quicker than you think. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's a pretty crazy realization. You can actually get caught up in your thoughts. It's so easy. I'm like a huge culprit of this. Yeah, I can overthink, and due to overthinking I can also be like kind of impatient and want to get things done quickly, but it just doesn't work like that. In these moments when you're overthinking and you feel like it's kind of getting a bit overwhelming, I think something that works for me is reminding myself that I am not my thoughts. I am not my thoughts, because thoughts come into like my energetic field. They may enter my energetic field, but I don't need to focus on them. If I don't want to, I won't focus on them. So you can remind yourself of this, that you do not need to focus on every thought that you think, so to speak. Because you can think, but again, you don't need to think. Right? Because thinking is optional. You don't actually have to do it to make a decision, to act, to do all these different things that you want to do throughout your day. For those who are interested in that confidence hypnotism from Sho Namoto, I will link it in the description. So that was what I wanted to say in this video. I'm going to be starting to release videos a bit more regularly than I used to, which was like every few months. Man, the scenery here is just like, it's just insane. Wow, it's just so insane. The scenery here, this lake is just so nice. Man, it was so worth it. It was actually worth it getting up at 4:30 for this, where there's hardly any people. I can record in peace. It's starting to rain now. The swans are here, like the nature's beautiful, like life is actually good. Life is good. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I'm going to be making some more videos. Yeah, I've actually got many videos planned. Stay tuned for them. And yeah, thank you for watching.